Welcome to the 20th episode of the Purple, Yellow, Red and Blue podcast, Portugal the Man podcast. Each podcast I'm joined by a guest to talk about everything going on with PTM, news, social media activities, new releases, future tour dates, with opinions and impressions. Also each episode we have the song game and, just a chance to catch up with a fan and get their views on things and their experiences and any cool stories they might have. You can find this on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, which isn't a thing. It's on Apple. Thank you to Liam, who does the artwork and the thumbnails. My name is Mark, and my guest joining me today is...
Steve. You probably know me on Discord as Steve for Vendetta and Reddit as Region Rat. Just outside of Chicago, I'm actually in Indiana. But, pleasure to be here with you, Mark.
Pleasure's all mine as well. Thank you for coming on this fine Sunday afternoon, evening. How's the weather in Chicago in January?
Yeah, so we're in a warm spell right now. It's like 43 today, but typically we're in the negatives, so it's quite warmer than usual. I'm not complaining right now, but previous years I would have been.
You'd have been. Yeah. Got to take what you can get in Chicago as well. I suspect you guys get a fair bit of snow this time of year, or how's that been this year?
Yeah, I mean, historically, for sure. I don't know. Won't get into the politics and stuff if you believe in climate change or whatever, but something's going on and it doesn't snow anymore. Maybe it was just that I bought a snowblower and the world's just like, yep, you invested in that for no reason, but...
Oh, that's a shame. I love the snow. We don't get a lot of it. We get frost more than anything. It gets to about 0 degrees or whatever, that 30 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it doesn't really get much colder. Really, it doesn't really settle as well when we do get snow. So we'll get like an inch, and that's it. And we're in the south. I'm in the south of England, so obviously up north it's going to be variably a little bit more heavy duty and worse for wear, but not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, this year it actually snowed more towards Christmas time, which was nice. But yeah, ever since then it's been really just ice, freezing rain and stuff like that. So not fun.
No, I can't stand the rain. Can't stand it. Kind of fed up with it. Yeah. All right. Well, I'd love to keep talking weather with you, Steve, but this is the Portugal the Man. This is the Purple, Yellow, Red and Blue podcast, which, we're back in 2025. A little hiatus. I apologise. We're back. New intro as well. You've probably just seen. We're recording this in the past, obviously. So, I'm happy. We're going to do some little more modifications next time as well. We'll just make things look a little bit more legitimate. That's kind of what I want to do. Be legitimate. So if a band member ever wants to come on here, then it doesn't look like I'm holding the whole place up with like string and toothpicks sort of thing. I kind of want a little bit more quality. So yeah,
definitely.
Your history with the band. How did you come to discover the band? Like, what was your knowing of tour story, finding out?
Yeah. So the first time I ever really heard them was 2011ish with In the Mountain in the Cloud, 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. It's I was a young kid back then, so I really didn't have much money to go to shows or anything. I did see them on the Jägermeister tour that year, but they competed with they kind of shared my favorite spot between them and AWOL Nation for favorite band. And throughout the years, I only really had money to ever see one band, and I would go see AWOL Nation. But it kind of changed more recently, so that's how I kind of came about them. It was just like 2011, 2012, kind of In the Mountain in the Cloud, Jägermeister era, if you remember any of that.
I've heard of the Jägermeister tour and the venue, and the drink. Obviously, I'm very familiar. Yeah. So about the same time, because my come up was around 2012 as well. So In the Mountain in the Cloud. Okay. So yeah, we're in the same pocket there. It must have been. There's just something there at that time, but I was closer to like 15, 16, so it's kind of like a good age to sort of imprint music DNA into someone, I think. So for me personally, anyway. So yeah, I got in with got it all, and just kind of never really looked back, to be honest. Kind of got more and more into Evil Friends, and then probably around 2019 started taking it a little bit more seriously, started joining like the Reddit and the Discord, or whenever the Discord was made or whatever, and then started reaching out to people from 2019 onwards. It's like, yeah, this is it, and then kind of changed all my social names to Portugal the Mark because it was better than the thing I had before. So I was like, oh, that's kind of clever. And one person has got it since then. So, who isn't a fan of the band, I should say.
Yeah, it's funny you mention like the social media aspect of it because I never historically really had anything, and I think I'm just at like a calendar year of having Discord and Reddit and stuff, so I was really out of the game for all that for really ever. But it's nice to finally be here and connect with people online.
It's a good group, isn't it? I'm actually quite surprised how as I voice break, how nice everyone is and how accommodating everyone is, and kind of how we kind of keep the hype fire up even when there's not a lot to talk about. Like, still things are like popping off a little bit, and like, the Discord, the Reddit is pretty good at like anytime something happens, like a question or something, people reference something, and Eric and John are on there occasionally as well, which is nice. It's kind of good to get that back and forth. It's a bit weird if you're just talking to a wall and the wall doesn't talk back to you, you know. It is quite nice to get that, so I appreciate that. I love them for that.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of I think the main reasons I really enjoy the band so much is how down to earth and personable they are. I mean, even on here on Discord, I'll ask the most obscure questions. Like a couple weeks ago, I asked about "Smile" by Vince Staples, and I was like, I remember that being a PTM backing track or something, and then John came and answered and kind of gave some history on it, so it was super cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing that actually. Did he say he was writing on that one, or he was something like that, or are we not allowed to talk about that, or?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know too much on that besides what he said, but it was pretty much just they did all the audio and somebody at one of the labels kind of took it from him without much more. But I don't know the history or anything, so I won't really comment. That can be John in the future if you want to ask him if he ever joins the podcast.
Oh, I've got a list of questions ready for him. I'll add that. I could add that one. I mean, one of the things one of the things I'm going to ask is like, what if I ever get the chance to, things that like how the biz really works, and like, let's be honest, have you written any other big hits that we all know, that we've all heard of, that you can't talk about? And obviously he's not going to be able to say, but if you can nod, that'll do.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
That would be, but he's an adult, he's a dad, he's got plenty of things to be doing in his own time, so completely respect it. I also wanted to ask Steve, coming from Chicago, is your favourite song Chicago from Way Too Vultures?
It's not, but it's my favorite song off that album specifically.
Okay.
I'm kind of crazy and like make lists. That's like my thing. Just crazy. I'm a crazy person. But
when you say lists, do you mean like top 10 lists?
When I say list, I have a list of all 123 recorded songs that have been put out into the public by Portugal the Man, and I rank them from 1 to 123. And it changes all the time.
Okay.
So Chicago's actually number 5 on the list.
That's pretty high. That's okay. Respect that.
Yeah, no, I mean that song is probably my favorite live song. Yeah, I'd say it's my favorite live song, and they always play it when they roll through Chicago, which is super special. Yeah, I think that's part of the reason that it's so high. I mean, also being from Chicago, it's nice when people write songs about the city, and it's just overall just super energetic and fun to just rock out to.
Yeah, that is a popular live. They do like playing that one live, and it goes pretty hard as well. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's a solid one. So, if it isn't Chicago, what is the favorite song? What is number 1?
Yeah, my favorite kind of you'll see a lot of allusions / parallels between when I first started getting into the band. So my favorite song is "All Your Light," Times Like These for sure, and then again favorite album. But I think it's just the nostalgia and stuff tied to discovering the band. It's great live. They do the jams. They're like 20 minutes long. Put in like a kilo in the home and stuff like that when they do it live. It's just so good, the medleys they do. I mean, yeah, absolutely love it.
Yeah, All Your Light is it's a sick song being played live as well. You mentioned the kilo and the home as well, like tucked in and like
Yeah.
the kind of and the like the jam session they do with that one. They're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, and that's one of the reasons I do love them as well, especially these live sets. They kind of, it's not just the 4 minute track played live. It's a 4 minute track played at 4.5 minutes with a little bit more, oomph to it as well. And yeah, they kill it. I love that's a good example. All Your Light is one. I was maybe gonna do like a topic of like what song gets the biggest live boost. You know what I mean? Like sounds goes from. So what's 123 and what goes the highest in your ranking from non-live to live?
What do I? Okay, so I don't know if these necessarily count.
Yeah.
But they automatically were put at the bottom just because they're not really songs. So 122 is Intermission, Uncensored Colors, and 123 is Break. So I at least kind of put those in an order. But above that, at 121's Monster from Under the Waves of the Brown Coat. Most of those are pretty low. If you want to do a song that's actually like on an album, you can buy like in a tangible form. It's 119's "Kill Me the King" off of "Wait Are You Vultures."
Okay.
So
yeah, that's fair answer. I'm actually trying to think how that one sounds, and I can't remember, so that's not a good sign.
Yeah, no, definitely not at all. But yeah, no, you were talking about like songs that are mashed up. It's kind of funny. You mentioned songs that you don't like, either recorded or live or whatever. "Live in the Moment" is a song that I just kind of skip over whenever it comes on my Spotify or whatever. But lately they've been doing like a mashup live of "Live in the Moment" with "Someday Believers," and it is so good. It definitely like catapults both of those songs so high into my rankings, like when they do the mashup live. It just shows how like special the band is, and every performance that you go to, it's just different, and they are so creative and come up with different ideas and stuff. It's just honestly amazing.
I have to agree, and I kind of think maybe they mix up the tracks because they are playing so many live songs. Maybe they want to like, they don't want to keep playing the same track the same way every time. Like they want to have fun with it and give the audience something different each time to go listen to. Like I don't know, like I heard the Killers say once we played Mr. Brightside 1,500 times live. Now I mean at one point you've just got to be like getting a little bit tired of doing the whole thing, and obviously like for the big shows you obviously like bring it out again and like put on a smile and whatever and go through it. But yeah, putting on I mean, how many times have they played "Live in the Moment" since, or "Feel It Still" since 2017, and those tracks that
I remember back, I don't know, I think it was like before Woodstock came out. I think they were like kind of teasing "Feel It Still" at their shows. And it was either before the album came out or after the album came out. They were playing it like to open up the set and to close the set too. So they were playing it like twice a night. It was crazy. So I can only imagine.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. I think I remember John saying at one point, he's like, we're gonna play it first, so then the people who come for it can go home afterwards. They can come in, enjoy it, and then they can do the thing.
No. Yeah, that's like honestly the only negative comments I would have about, it's not the band, but it's just like not even really the fans. It's like, for example, at Red Rocks this year, there was a lady that sat in front of me who sat during the whole show, didn't dance or anything. "Feel It Still" came on like third to last, got up, danced, and then just left. And I'm like, oh, you paid so much money to be here, and you're just here for one song.
Yeah.
I mean, testament to how the song is. I mean, that is by far one of the best songs ever, like written on just a greatness level, I guess. Just flawless through and through. But I don't know. Going to a concert just for one song and sitting like in the third row, which that lady was, is kind of silly to me. But
yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, wouldn't you just, why would you go for one song? Wow. They really don't have a lot going on then if they're going out for one song, I suppose, and have a lot of money to just fleece on that sort of thing.
I could never, but
No, I can't even like think of an artist you like one song from, and would you go to see them live? No, I wouldn't. I need like 10 to
Yeah.
12 kind of really. Yeah, I need something where I can go, yeah, I like half the set at least.
I mean, I've definitely went to artists where I thought that I would have known most of the set list. Like, probably my best example would be like Blue October. I'm like really big on like one or two of their albums, but when I saw them live, I only knew like four of the songs, and I was like, oh, this is so awkward.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of get that, to be fair. Yeah, yeah. This is a nice
Yeah.
segue. We're going to talk about live shows now. Some
Yeah.
of your live show experiences. So
Hmm.
we'll obviously save some of the more recent ones, but have you got like a best live show you've been to that you wanna talk us through?
Yeah, so I think the best live one that I've ever been to, which is kind of funny piggybacking off of like an earlier discussion, how like I hadn't been on social media or anything, and like the community's great. You know Amy, Amy was, she actually has pictures of me at the show before we even like knew each other, which is super funny. But it was a Lollapalooza after party. I don't remember what venue it was at in Chicago, but it was so good. It was just so electric. The band was just like on their adrenaline rush from performing at Lollapalooza earlier, and they came and played at a smaller venue after the show, and they played like Chicago and noise pollution and everything. It was just so electric. Like the energy in the room was unmatched from almost really any concert that I've ever been to.
Oh, it's good. That's a good answer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Me and Amy as well beforehand as well, and not even knowing as well. What are the? How weird.
yeah,
How strange. Yeah, yeah. Awesome.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
All right.
probably like the best concert I really enjoyed, which I hope whenever they go on tour again, they do it again. Like their VIP experience was like super special this year on this last tour. Like going to the sound check and everything. It's really cool because there's only like 20 or 30 people in like the whole venue, and you're like right up next to the rail, and you hear it like super raw. They like make mistakes and stuff, and it's, I don't know. I really enjoyed that on the most recent tour.
Hmm.
That was at the Salt Shed in Chicago. They did mornings. Oh man, I can't remember the other one they did, but they did Chicago too. So they did three songs for us. Um, but that was really cool. I enjoyed that a lot too. That was just a unique experience all around, and I'm glad that a lot of people were able to experience that because they offered it on the most recent tour. So
Oh, that's cool to know. Actually, I was curious because I have seen
yeah,
that they've been doing VIP tickets, and
yeah,
it's a good way to make more money. I didn't know the quantity, 20 to 30 people. Okay, that's pretty cool for like the VIP
yeah.
section as well. And then you're like, are you
Mhm.
side stage or you're above side stage or something like that, or you've
Yeah. So what it was is like you went
paint the picture.
to sound check. Yeah, so you went to sound check like before anything even began. So like you were out where you would normally stand during the show. So you're just like on the rail and listening to them sound check. Then after that, for us was like a Q&A section, which was kind of funny because it was just like a one-on-one me talking to like John and the band, because like I'm like a really outspoken person, but a lot of people are anxious and stuff. So like everybody was afraid to answer questions, so I was just asking a bunch,
Oh,
and then
nice.
like the
Take
different
advantage.
buddies. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was really cool.
Just that's nice. That's a bit tech to figure out like what
Yeah,
more
yeah,
was going on for the VIP section. I think that's really cool to ask some questions as well. Maybe I'll bring my laptop next time and a mic and maybe
yeah.
get some recorded.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, you mentioned the Salt Shed. Is that your favourite venue that you've been to, or is that just like a local one to you and where
Yeah.
you are?
So as much as I like Chicago, their our concert venues historically are terrible. The Salt Shed's new. It used to be an old Morton salt factory, and it is probably one of my favorite venues that I've ever been to, let alone just in the city. There's an indoor and an outdoor section. I think the indoor is better personally, but I mean it's still great. Um, if you talk about like favorite venues though that I've ever been to, I recently was out in LA and went to the Troubadour, and that was super special. I don't know if you know the history on the Troubadour at all, Mark.
I'm not familiar. I've never been stateside, unfortunately, so
So
I'm only going off
yeah,
things off the internet. But this isn't Red Rocks. This is
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying to
no,
picture it. I think I can picture it, but paint the picture for me.
yeah.
Sorry.
the Troubadour for this is a legend from the UK. Sir Elton John. That was one of his first shows ever in the United States was at the Troubadour. That's if you watch like the movie they did over him, it's like where he like was all dressed up and was like floating from the stage. Super tiny, like 200-person venue. It's where like a lot of like LA bands and like foreign people really got their breaks in the US. So like Motley Crue's like first ever performance was there and stuff like that. So there's a lot of history. It's in West Hollywood. So Chapel Roan out in West Hollywood. But yeah, like 200-person venue, super old, kind of grimy, but I don't know, it's just kind of magical.
200's a nice cap size. That's a nice, not overcrowded, not empty kind of room size. I've done the sort of like 5 to 1,000. That's good, but I like the know it does get busy, and then the 5,000's the biggest I've been in, and that was like maybe a little bit too much for me. It was a lot of like by the second half of the show, I was 7 rows back, and it kind of felt like I was 8 rows back, 9 rows back, but with like row 13 right behind me. We kind of all just kind of pushed in a little bit, and I was like, it was right after COVID as well. Me and my mate, I was like, I don't know, it got a little bit too, I don't know, like you had to hold a piss in as well. Christ, I weren't losing that spot. I had a good view there. Anyway, oh, it's cool though. Yeah, no, Salt Shed in Chicago. Shout out, and the Troubadour. Yeah, no, I might look up. I'll look up that venue. What was it called? The Troubadour, you said?
Yeah, definitely. It's the Troubadour in West Hollywood.
Awesome. I'll look up that one. I'll get some nice. Any other like live experiences? Have you like? I mean, you said you interviewed the band basically because no one else wanted to. Was a bit nervous. Have you caught up with them other times or?
Yeah, no. I mean, I've gotten really lucky. More in their most recent shows. So like January for them specifically was kind of like benefit / give back to the community month. I saw them. I won't go into detail on the most recent one now because I know that's kind of for later. But at Joey's Song in Madison, which is like a little concert festival series almost now, for epilepsy research. I think that was probably the coolest experience that I've ever had with the band. So to give you background on Joey's Song a little bit, I think it started. I don't quote me on this, but I think it was like 2011 in Chicago, and it was like a super small benefit thing. And then over the years, it grew into like a one day, a bunch of bands perform on stage together, like at a big. It was called the Big Show. And this year they broke it out to almost like a little festival format. So it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Portugal Man was Thursday, Friday was Silver Sun Pickups, and then Saturday was like the Big Show, which everybody plays together. The thing that was like super special and like the experience part of it, we were lucky enough to be in the same hotel as all of the artists, not just Portugal the Man.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Like seeing them in the past and stuff like that, and them recognizing us from like being like rail riders and stuff. They actually invited us to like the VIP parties.
Oh wow, sick! Oh, that's awesome.
Was crazy, yeah. So that was probably the coolest experience that I've ever had in like honestly my life, really. So I was hanging out with just everybody from Portugal the Man, Silver Sun Pickups, members from the Bengals, Cheap Trick, Garbage. And the list really goes on and on. Kenny Hoopla, if you're familiar with like the more like emo rock in the U.S. Yeah, no, it was special. It was really super cool.
Wow, that's brilliant. Yeah, getting to do a behind the scenes kind of VIP experience, same hotel as well.
Yeah.
No, you lucked out there. You done pretty well there. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, no, it was cool because like, and it wasn't just like one night too. It was like 3 nights in a row, staying up until 2 a.m. with everybody, getting to know everybody like on a personal level too. So it wasn't like weird, awkward, like 10-minute interactions by the tour bus. It was like one thing John and I compared like what was in each other's wallets. Like it was just really, really stupid stuff that you would do with your friend like at a pub.
Oh yeah. Oh, brilliant.
So, yeah, no, it was special. And then talking to everybody. It was nice talking to Chris Funk. He's like their new management. He's actually
Oh, okay.
from where I'm from in Indiana, which was super crazy. So we have like a little special bond now.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know about that actually. Yeah, okay. New manager.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh. Or new, yeah, part of the crew. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you'd say okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. Live experience, yeah. Get to meet him, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about like what's in my wallet now and how people are going to judge me because yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no. It was funny. I'm like probably one of the only people in the world that still carries a library card. And then John was like, dude, why do you have that in your wallet?
Oh my
Like,
god.
I get DVDs from the library. I'm like, do books. The libraries out by me have video games now, so like I can try them out instead of just buying them.
Oh really? Okay.
It's great.
Okay. You're getting the blockbuster experience in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
man. Oh,
And then kind of an ode to you. I have my Oyster cards still in my wallet. I carry that around. It has a negative 22-pound balance on it because I accidentally like stayed riding on the train because I thought I was getting off at a different stop. So it's
yeah. Once you go past one of those like zone 4 or 5, price just goes up. We kind of just use contactless payments now for all the stops or tickets if you're like a real tourist. Like if you're coming from anywhere else in Europe, they might buy like a day pass, but they're so expensive. They're such a rip-off. You pay like 3 or 4 times as much. Yeah. I don't know. Oyster card. I never got an Oyster card. I was never. By the time I was in London, it was like it's not really I think they still sell them. I think they still advertise them as well. I'll check next time I go. Anyway, that's pretty cool. I want to. You mentioned you were a big fan of In the Mountain and the Cloud. Are there any other like albums that you would put pretty high up that you would kind of put adjacent to? Any favourites? Anything? Let me know.
So, I'm pulling it up right now, but with the fact that I've ranked every single song of theirs, I used AI to rank my favorite albums based on the position they are in correspondence to how many like songs are on a record too. So I can actually tell you my order of 12.
Okay.
12 is going to be the lowest, and I'll start there and I'll work my way up. So
I'm up for this. Let's go for it.
The bottom's Under the Waves of the Brown Coat, which I feel like everybody can kind of agree. Super experimental, kind of coming off the Anatomy
also
and stuff.
Not many tracks as well, so it's going to be lower down. Understandable.
Yeah. 11. Only one track, but it's complicated being a wizard. It's great. Just I'm not a huge experimental fan, to be honest. So that's why it's so low. This is the one that's probably going to get me the most fleck, but I have Church Mouse number 10. Really not a fan, to be honest. That's like my most skippable album.
Wow, really? Okay.
All my listeners out there.
I'm just going to jump in quickly and say I am a big fan. I quite like Church Mouth. I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I can get why sometimes putting it on it does feel a little bit. I can understand maybe a little bit too grungy, a little bit too. There's just something about it. No, I respect that. It's also almost 20 years old as well, so that's understandable. Not every song that's excellent as well. No, fair enough.
Yeah, that's true.
I had to defend it for a second.
Number 9, I have Waiter You Vultures. There's some really, really good songs in that, and there's, in my opinion, some really, really bad songs on there.
More like Guns. What, I mean, why?
Yeah.
Why is that? Who doesn't love that?
Yeah. Number 8, I consider this its own album, but I did singles / unreleased songs.
Okay.
So, because there's 12 of them that are either singles or unreleased, so I kind of conglomerated those into their own ranking. So, 7, American Ghetto, 6, Sensor Colors, and then we get into the top 5. Chris Black Changed My Life's number 5. Great album through and through. I love the cohesiveness of it. It reminds me of Evil Friends a lot. Number 4, I'll probably get a lot of flack for this too, but I have Woodstock. I think Woodstock's actually a really good album. I just think people hate on it because of how well liked it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I we're tangent again off Woodstock. Look,
Yeah.
it kind of took them from the, I don't know how to say it, put them up on another level where, they all got a big payday out of it, which is good for Feel It Still, and it kind of put them on another map, and it kind of revitalized the kind of tour scene, and they made money out of that. Probably very draining doing 300 shows in 2018, but also, yeah, I don't know. If that one doesn't come out, who knows where the band is now today? You never know. Maybe it's something that kind of just, lit a spark or something, and I don't know. Look, I do hate on a couple of Woodstock songs, but I'm not putting you. I'm not setting you on fire for that. All right. No.
Yeah. But yeah, so after that, number 3 is Satanic Satanists.
Ooh,
2
okay.
really shocked me because I always tell people, not that I tell people that I don't like it. I don't how I ranked everything, but 2, I have Evil Friends, and the more and more that I listen to it, the more and more I realize that it's actually my second favorite. It's just I'm the one's in the Mountain in the Cloud. I'm just such an in the Mountain in the Cloud person that, maybe I get mad that people like Evil Friends more and kind of want people to gravitate towards my favorite album. But yeah, that's my ranking from bottom to top.
No, I love that. No, that's brilliant. I love that you've done the homework and you've well, actually, I'll work out. Whereas I think a lot of people probably have similar kind of trajectory. I'm interested to know what you said. There were 12 singles or something that you were considering. I mean, that's fair.
So, going down the list, I feel like I can talk about this because it was posted in the VIP channel. I actually have now at number 10, High Views of Immeasurable Sadness as my 10th favorite song. I know it's unreleased. The song is phenomenal. Huge fan. I don't know if you've listened to it yet, Mark, but
is this a song that mentions Graveyard? Is this?
Yeah, that's the Graveyard.
Oh yeah, I have it. It's actually on my desktop. Yes, no, I am with you there. I am. Yeah. I'm purposely not listening to it, so when it comes out, I get that second hit of that second wind of enjoying. Yeah.
Yeah. That song is phenomenal. So you're really in for a special treat there. Other singles and unreleased. What Me Worry. Was a single. Let's see, what else do I have on here? I'm kind of going down my list. Oh Boy, the Red Bull song. You're familiar with that one? That was in the Red Bull space documentary. The dude jumped out of a thing at the highest altitude or whatever.
That's right. Yeah, it was around the Evil Friends time in the mountain. Evil Friends. It was around that time zone.
Mm-hmm. So. What else is on here? I feel like I've probably skipped past some, but I'm going really fast. Who's Gonna Stop Me? Was the one with Weird Al. That's a single. Endangered Song, another single. Heavy Games Part 1. Walking Dead, I think.
Yes, that's The Walking Dead. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I can technically put this in redo my list and put it as part of Church Mouth, but I have 17 as a single because it was released on a 7-inch. And then it's on the deluxe edition of Church Mouth. So I don't know. You can argue that that's not a single.
No, I get where you're coming from with 17. Yeah. I quite like 17 as well, actually. Yeah, it's a shame that isn't on streaming services and bits and pieces. I'd like to have that in rotation, just a little bit more.
You have The Pines and the Devil that was on a little A-B side, Little Guy, which I think's also on a deluxe edition of Waiter You Vultures, if I remember correctly. So maybe you tie that into that album, but maybe you don't. I don't know. And then Cheer Up. That was.
Oh yeah.
What's that from?
It's not Bad Boys. It's with Will Smith. Bright. That's it. The film's called Bright in 2017.
Yeah. And then I think that's it. That I skipped over something, but other songs Art Party and stuff technically aren't theirs, so I didn't include them on the list.
Oh God! Oh, is that that children's show? The song they did for that?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
God, that has left my memory.
I don't know. I thought it was cute. I liked it a lot. It was for Francis and stuff. So
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
yeah, I respect that. I actually forgot they did that. Yeah, most of them. Yeah, does Bittersweet count as a single, or is that like, are you counting that as a collab? And
Yeah, no, that's because if I remember correctly, I can go on Spotify now, but
is it not their
it's
song?
weird. It's
Is it?
weird. It's weird because it's on their page as a single, but like I'm gonna butcher his name. LP
LP
or whatever.
Joppy, yeah, that's
He's
it.
he's listed as like the primary person on here.
Okay.
It doesn't say featuring
Okay.
Portugal the Man. I think it's like or it's a woman. Sorry. It's I don't know if it's a thing, but I don't consider it theirs.
Yeah, it's not
Maybe.
like in 2007 everything was and featured. Now the names are like side by side, so it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe like it's more of a collaborative thing, and maybe that's to do with how much money is exchanged and things like that, and obviously features or like writing features. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that song's like on her most recent records, so that's why I kind of consider it hers.
Okay. Yeah. Fair play.
But I've also seen songs that are on both artists' records, so I don't know. So like, I know it's a cover, but Flag posted AWOL Nation and Elohim did like a cover of it together, and both of them released it on a record. And it's another one of those where it's like separated by a comma, so it's not like featuring one another, but they just like share it, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how the music logistics work. Maybe when you get John on the podcast, when you ask him about the industry and stuff, you can dive deeper into that.
Yeah, the only other person I know in the music industry, I know someone who's like a grand pianist. He actually used to teach me.
Okay.
He's funny thing with him, he only had one hand as well, and he was bloody good. He was embarrassingly good for having one. He had like an arm, he had like a joint, but he only had like one hand, like 5 fingers essentially, or 4 and a thumb. And he was still so good. And he's done a couple of TED Talks as well. I'll send you his name afterwards. I don't want to like completely dox myself, but yeah. I remember talking to him in 2020. He was about to go tour in Russia, of all places. Funnily enough, wow, how the world has changed since then. But obviously the pandemic stopped that. So yeah. So yeah, I mean I could ask him, but like his Spotify numbers and Apple Music are just he's more like you go to like a ball or something and he'll be playing. So I mean I could ask him that, but I don't know. I'd love to have like got him in touch with Kyle. That would have been brilliant, but it would have been. I don't know. I think they might have. I could see some similarities there. I think there was some mutual respect. But anyway, no, that's cool to know all the singles, and I like your list. Maybe I'll make one as well. Maybe that'll be it. And then use AI to see what happens. see if Evil Friends isn't number 1. I'll be shocked if it isn't.
I mean, I wasn't surprised with In the Mountain and the Cloud because I truly love every single one of those songs. And, like, the way that AI broke it down for me and stuff is, like, I got, like, an average ranking number of, like, every song out of that, like, list 123. So, like, In the Mountain and the Cloud, like, the median, like, level it is, like, song number 20 on the list. Evil Friends is, like, median's 22, and then Satanic Satanist really drops off from there. So, if you look at my list, a lot of the top is In the Mountain and the Cloud, and then Evil Friends songs. Like, I don't even think I gave you my top 5 earlier, but my top 5 are All Your Light, 2's Created, 3's Smile, 4's Everyone is Golden, and then 5's Chicago. So that's my top 5. So a lot of diversity in the top 5, but kind of beyond that, it's a lot of In the Mountain and the Cloud and Evil Friends songs.
You gave me 1 and 5. To be fair, you gave me Chicago and All Your Light. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If God, you put me on the spot now. I should probably do my top 5. Is really, it kind of changes day by day, so I don't really want to I don't want to commit to anything, but I'll probably say like Purple, Yellow, and Blue is in the top 5. I'll probably say Noise Pollution is in the top 5 as well. I'm more into psychedelic stuff, and that's kind of more where I'd actually like to see them go, to be honest, a little bit more. Hasn't quite panned out that way, but I still like it. Plastic Island just kind of feels like I don't
Interesting.
know. It feels
Okay.
like a '90s song. I don't know. Just there's something about that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like. I think I tell like a new fan to listen to Sleep Forever, but I don't
Hmm.
anymore just because it's a little bit too. I won't say too emotional, but I'm after
Yeah.
stuff that gets me in a good mood, not sombering,
Yeah.
not in like a like thoughtful mood all the time. So
Hmm.
I respect it, but you know, I've had 14 good years of listening to it. I'll put it on every now and again, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't. It's weird having that and then trying to link that to something from like someone doing like I don't know, like an electronic song afterwards. It's quite hard to make that, to go from one to the other on a
Yeah.
playlist. I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
those kind of
It's
things.
actually
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah. It's funny you mentioned that though, because like within the mountain and the cloud specifically, with like how playlists are made in specific orders and then album orders and stuff like that. I actually have a specific order that I listen to the songs off of in the
Oh,
Mountain and the Cloud that I
an
think is like
alternative
much more
order.
superior
Okay.
to how
Okay.
the album's created. I won't share the whole list, but I will say like my favorite thing ever in the world is All Your Light immediately followed by Senseless is like the best combo that they have.
Okay.
Like so you should try that out on Spotify or whatever streaming service you use. Like play All Your Light into Senseless like all the time and it's amazing.
Okay. I've never thought about like reordering the albums. In the Mountain in the Cloud reordered version.
Yeah.
Director's cut. Steve's director's cut.
Oh my.
John, there's a free idea for you.
Yeah. Oh my.
Chris Black Changed My Life director's cut with like one more song on it. There you go. Just reorder it. It
Yeah.
won't work whatsoever, but reorder it. Put all the second half songs at the beginning and end with like Grim Generation. I don't know. There we go.
That's great.
Awesome. No, oh, sorry, but you going to say anything else? I was gonna move on to the next question. If you have anything else,
Yeah, no. I think I'm good there. So
satisfied. Awesome. I wanted to. I do this with every fan that comes on here. Obviously, in 2023, a year and a half ago, we had the release of Chris Black Changed My Life. Kind of want to know your like overall thoughts, kind of initial then overall thoughts. Maybe we could do a little discussion about kind of the build up to that. I call it the Great Depression between Woodstock and Chris Black because it was so long. That I'd like to know that what songs you like, kind of what June 23 was like when it came out.
yeah,
How's Chris Black for you? Let me.
I it was an interesting one. When it first came out, I'm not gonna lie, Chris Black Changed My Life with it being such a like large break in between. It's kind of like I'm kind of like this with every record really by any artist that I like. I initially just don't like it. I kind of blame myself for Chris Black Changed My Life though because I listened to it out of order, and that is definitely not a record you can listen to out of order. You really have to do a cover to cover on that one to really appreciate how like magical that record is. I'm sure like in some playlists I pull out a couple songs, but like cover to cover that is such a fantastic one. Everybody who worked on it did such a great job. Like I really enjoyed watching like Asa's videos of them in the studio throughout the whole time. It like really hyped me up. Like having Paul Williams and like Edgar Winter and like Black Thought and stuff like that work on it, and like Jeff Basker. It was truly spectacular, really through and through. My favorite song off of it specifically, I know you asked this, was Anxiety Clarity. I think if you look at my list of like songs that I like, my ranked one, a lot of the songs that close albums are really high, but I think they do a great job of like finishing albums because that's like my biggest pet peeve of a lot of artists. Albums just like end and they don't like leave you with a feeling. It's a complete feeling. It's just like yeah, you will have anxiety, but like there will be clarity at the end. It's just like one of those like euphoric moments, I guess. I don't know. They did such a great job closing that one out.
Wow. I mean, you've literally put words into my mouth there with that one. Wow, I've never thought about
Yeah.
that. Leaving a thought at the end of the album. They do that so well every time. How many of their
Yeah.
end tracks are so thought provoking and
Mhm.
just powerful. Like Smile, Sleep Forever, you know,
Yeah.
Anxiety, Clarity, yeah,
Mhm.
Mornings. I think about all of them, to be
Yeah.
honest, and
Just
yeah,
so
you couldn't have
good.
said it better.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't, I
they,
don't know
they
how,
kill it.
but they kill it because what it is like. So I don't know if you're familiar with like the band AJR, but they do overtures to like start their albums,
I'm not.
and this is almost like an overture to like end their album because like a lot of their songs like combine songs throughout the record, and Anxiety Clarity does that. And I think it's so good and just like really ties everything in with one another. Um, which is kind of how that album plays out through and through. Like the beginning of it, the middle of it, and the end all use like the same like bridges and like lyrics and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just so cohesive and like works. I don't know.
It works well. No, you're absolutely right, and the constant theme of Chris Black floating throughout the album, and
Yeah.
yeah, it is tied so well together. As soon as they mentioned they were going to do they were going to have songs that kind of link together and kind of flow, and it's a little bit of a concept album. It's not fully there, but it's the best one I think they've done where
Yeah.
songs overlap. Apart from no, it is number one. You mentioned about not loving it day one. I'm kind of with you there with a lot of stuff. There's a lot of albums
Yeah.
where I'll hear it front to back and I'll be like, what is it? I've just waited X
Yeah.
amount of years. I'm like, man, you kind of
Mhm.
get a little bit down. You're like, do I even like him anymore? And then maybe you go hear them
Yeah. Yeah.
live and it just clicks. Or you hear
Mhm.
like a live version or a music video will appear like a couple of weeks later and you're like, oh, I get it. Something clicks.
Yeah.
I get it now. And then you start enjoying it more and more and more. And then 2 years down the line, track five that you really didn't like that much is really hitting as well for some reason.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I got with other bands as well, not just Portugal the Man. So I couldn't
Yeah.
agree with you
Well, I
more
think
there.
kind of what it was with that is like I know like a lot of their albums kind of carry themes of like I don't know, kind of question normalities with society and stuff like that. And a lot of the songs do have like sadder meanings, but a lot of them like are super energetic and stuff like that. But this one is like a total for me was like a total like sad boy album, and I needed to be sad and listen to it. And like when I had the feelings that the album was kind of like representing, it was like when it really hit close to home, and
Mm.
that's why I think it like works so well. Like when you do lose somebody or are anxious or like don't understand like kind of what the future is going to hold and like worry about things like having doubt and, like I don't know, it just works so well when you're having those feelings listening to it knowing that kind of everybody does, even people with like celebrity levels, I guess if you want to put it that way, feel the same way that you do. It's just super special.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah,
Yeah.
songs like Doubt, it's a feeling. Anxiety,
Yeah.
these are feelings. These are deeper levels. They are multi-layered thoughts. John is always asking he's always very thoughtful and almost provoking with his writing as well. And he's always got like he does a good job of not being overly political. I think some artists can be a little bit. I don't think he does. I think
Yeah.
he's outside the box with it. That's a good way of putting
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He's outside the box with that sort of stuff. So,
Mhm.
you know, splitting up the album into two halves as well, like the anxiety and the clarity, kind of
Mhm.
understand, like not understanding and then figuring it out, having the
Yeah.
doubt and then knowing what's to come in the future. These are probably all lyrics in the album as well. Somewhere they're kind
Yeah.
of floating around somewhere. I'm just spitballing a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. I think they did a tremendous job with it. I think it was worth the wait. I
Yeah.
I have a lot of positives about it, a lot more than I thought there would be, and I'm happy to have it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to their next release, and I'm glad
And
that
I
it
hope
came out.
too
Yeah.
when they go on tour again. Yeah, I hope on their next tour they play more off of Chris Black Changed My Life too, because they only really did the Winter of Summer of Love, the Wintour of Summer of Love, and then
Oh,
Ripping Through Canada, with those songs, and that really wasn't too many shows. And then like that most recent one tour they went on was a lot of just like old historical songs, like deeper cuts, which is super nice to hear. But like, I don't know, I never really heard besides like 3 or 4 of the songs off the new record live, and I think it would be nice to hear much more of them.
Oh, how interesting. Yeah. They wouldn't play a few more. Well, I've noticed that on like KEXP and kind of these other kind of live radio shows they'll do where they play a few songs, they do play them very differently as well. And maybe they're for like a different, I'm gonna say a different audience, but like a different time and place to their rock show, we'll call it, their like heavy metal show that they want to put on. But they can also slow it down a little bit as well. They'll find a way to incorporate them. What album? I can't remember. So I'm forgetting now. They're doing a live show where they played through an entire album for an anniversary. Was it? It wasn't Satanic, was it? I think it was.
Yeah. So that was Red Rocks this year. That was a crazy cool show. Because I love Let You Down. It was the first and only time they've ever performed it too. 15. I think it was a 15-year anniversary.
15. Yeah, thank you. That's it. I was trying to think. Was it? That's not 10 years. Come on.
Yeah, 15. So yeah, they played that cover to cover at Red Rocks, and then this month, well, in January, they did a lot of the benefit concerts. A lot of it kind of revolved around their daughter, and they did Evil Friends cover to cover for I think either 4 or 5 shows, and that was the first record that was written after Francis was born. So yeah, it was really nice seeing 2 of the albums cover to cover. And then I saw Evil Friends cover to cover 3 times, but it was nice seeing all those because like Smile has only ever been played like 12 times live before. And that's including this like recent run of shows. Yeah. I mean, they included in a lot of like medleys, but it's not like the full song. But
you're talking like nice hearing that. Yeah, more than 50%. Oh, okay. Any other thoughts about Chris Black changing my life? How was the gap between albums for you as well? I kind of want to get your opinion on that. Between Woodstock and Chris Black.
6 years is long enough. It's really funny because I'm a John Bellion fan too, and he's finally putting out an album after 6 years, and it brought back a lot of memories of like, holy moly, 6 years is way too long in between albums. So like, it honestly feels like the band is like over when it's been that long.
Yeah.
So it's super weird getting a new album and then knowing another one's coming. It's just like, it's odd. But like, I won't like dive into it. But I know like the band structure's like changed a lot recently. So I don't know. It's just weird having the band being all different, and John's obviously still there. But I don't know. It's a weird feeling, and I don't know. 6 years is too much. So please don't do that again.
Yeah. See you in 2029. Oh god, that sounds awful. Please don't do that. Yeah. 4 more years. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Not like that. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I just thought I'd get your opinion on that because for a lot of people have said kind of the similar thing of like, I understand family issues. They were touring a lot, and then by the time they wanted to release anything, the pandemic happened. So they're like, well, we'll wait afterwards, and then it just went on and on and on. So
broke his jaw, management changes, and stuff like that. So there's a lot that
I forgot about the jaw.
I could only imagine. So I won't complain too much, but I just hope history doesn't repeat itself.
Absolutely. All right, Steve, I kind of want to... We mentioned kind of beforehand, we have a quick little chat beforehand. Recent live shows, you've kind of mentioned the Joey show already. I think I had Amy on about a year ago or a little bit over to talk about 2024's Joey show as well. So, but there was another live show that you went to recently as well. On January 25th. Do you want us to know what that experience was like, what it was about? Kind of give us the overlay for people who weren't there, like myself, who lives halfway across the world. And let me know.
Probably one of the coolest shows I've ever been to, which it's called the Victory Academy show, and that's it's a school with like kids, teenagers, and adults with autism where they can learn get like their high school diploma and things of that nature. And that's actually where their daughter goes to school. It was like a benefit show in order to raise money for the school. Um, super like low key. It was in like the school's gymnasium, so there was like a basketball hoop in there. It's kind of crazy, but it was really intimate. They played Evil Friends cover to cover with a couple extra songs. So I think they did So American, Sleep Forever, and then the All Your Light Jam, which was awesome. But yeah, no, super special all in all, really intimate. I was actually telling the people that were there, which was like Amy, John Barry, and stuff like that, kind of more of like the super fan group, I guess, if you want to put it that way, that I really enjoy like the super small, intimate, almost sweaty shows. Yeah, so I was kind of talking to the people that were there too, and just I don't know. I hope they do smaller shows like that moving forward. I know it costs a lot to travel to a lot of shows, and I really like the super special, intimate ones a lot. So I think I might just go to those in the future, if I obviously still have the means. But yeah, super special, kind of just like Joey's song "Evil of Friends" was played cover to cover. But yeah, that's kind of an overview of that one.
Oh right, yeah. I didn't. Again, this was kind of a. It got was it? It was quite late last year. It got announced. I remember seeing something about it. Was it very early
Yeah.
this year? It was quite a late announcement. I'm not actually sure 100% when that show, this most recent, the January 25th show was announced. It was like late last year, early last year. Do you actually have like a better idea of that, Steve? Sorry.
Maybe during or right after their Beaverton show, which was another super special intimate one, but it was like maybe like 2 or 3 months ahead, probably like two, maybe not even. Um, so yeah, it really wasn't much timing. It was funny. I remember getting back home from Oregon, the Beaverton show, and then booking my flights to go back for the Victory
Oh
show.
my god.
Um, yeah, so yeah, the Beaverton show was super special too. If you were kind of following that one, that was first Save the LP. That was like another benefit concert. It was um, kind of like in a seated theater with like the full strings and everything was acoustic. They played Evil
Oh,
Friends cover to
okay.
cover. That was the first time they ever played High Views of Immeasurable Sadness live. They played another new one
Ooh.
too.
No
Yeah,
comment
no,
on that one.
that show was yeah, that show was super special. Yeah, the other song was really different. Drawing a, it was called How It Started, I think. Um, and that really highlighted like John's vocals. A lot of range and stuff like that was in that song. Um, I liked High Vis a lot better personally, but I know some people there liked How It Started more. So I'm really curious to see if that'll ever get released. Um, yeah, no, it was exciting.
Yeah, I think these ones, these teaser songs that they do eventually come
Yeah.
out in some form at some point. It's been a while since one hasn't. I was talking to Evan,
Yeah.
who's a good friend of mine, and he said in 2022 he heard them play Grim Generation, but like it sounded a
Okay.
little bit differently. And when he heard
Yeah.
it live, he was like, "Oh wow, that's the song I heard." Because I remember like there was a YouTube clip that went up in like late
Hmm.
2022 of Grim Generation, but it was called
Yeah.
Grim G or
Okay.
something. We weren't too sure what it was, and it did sound a little bit different to the album release. So maybe how it
Hmm.
started and Hive is. I would have thought if John hadn't uh, been playing this live and definitely not sharing anything with fans.
Yeah.
Definitely not. He wouldn't
Yeah.
do that. No, couldn't have been him.
I-
No, I
Yeah.
hacked the. I
I feel
hacked
like
the. Yeah.
yeah.
There's a chance it'd come
I
out.
feel like High Vis is definitely going to come out at some point, especially him releasing it to us. I don't know. I've been told things, but I won't speak on them because I don't want to say something and it not actually happen. But I hear there are plans for him, so it's exciting.
Hmm. I mean, we could transition this topic into another topic I had was 2025. Do we receive new music this year? And by that, it sounds like maybe we are potentially by your
Yeah,
statement there. I know you don't want to go too much into that one, but you're
yeah.
confident then.
So yeah, pretty confident. I heard 85% complete so far. Um, what that means.
Okay.
I don't think anybody knows. Especially you'd have to get that to the. I don't know if they're working with a label. They would have to go through that process and then get it over to get pressed, mastered, and stuff. So who knows? But if they're going on tour, I'm assuming new music's coming.
Yeah.
Which again, ruminations of that too, so it's not confirmed or anything. But I don't know. I think kind of late summer, early fall, we'll probably get something.
Okay. Well, we'll watch the space then. Maybe anything post June, kind of start to maybe just keep an eye to see if they start posting a little bit more on social media and Instagram and bits and pieces. Apart from the once every week or two kind of behind the scenes stuff, but it is cool to see on some of the more recent ones. Kane is back doing some bits and pieces. Yeah, Kane was shot.
No, kind of speaking on that, seeing that last show at Victory Academy, and then I wasn't at the ones in Alaska, but they performed the last 2 days in Alaska for benefit series. Him on drums is like magical. It is so nice to have him back. And then if you're familiar with Nick Reinhardt, he is a guitarist. He was kind of in, I think, Evil Friends eras, like when he toured with the band. He also had recorded with Woodstock and Chris Black. He's back. He kills it on guitar. Super nice seeing him. And then on bass is Danny Bell now for those last couple shows, which if people were fans long enough, she was one of us at one point. So dreams do come true. But what they have going on right now is super special, and it's really fun watching them get more confident playing with one another. And that was just 2 shows that I saw. I mean, saw a live stream of their shows in Alaska, and just as time goes on, them playing with each other, they play really well together, and it's super high energy, and it's really nice seeing Kane and Nick, especially back in the band, and then Danny come in, filling on bass. So I'm excited.
Yeah. I don't think that means that Zach's completely gone. I just think Zach's away for a while. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, unless things change, he's on a break for a while. Maybe that'll change. Maybe later this year, be like, I kind of fancy going on tour again. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Yeah. But at the moment, he's doing fishing. He's living his life. He is taking a break. He's had back issues as well. He's had bottom issues as well. He needs to recover, and
definitely.
He's taking a well-earned break as well. To be fair, and I'm sure he'll be back at some point. If he wasn't, definitely. I'm sure John would have said something. He'd be like, Zach's taking an indefinite break, but I think he's back at some point. I actually think Jason might one day as well come back, but maybe I see that less. I'd be less sure about that because he's got other ventures. He's got like a restaurant business or something he's involved with, and tour life is tough, and being the drummer is tough. Like, he is playing for an hour and a half straight, and by straight that is physical for an hour and a half straight. So it's I don't blame him for wanting a break. It's not an easy thing to do. So and especially as they link every song together as well, so there is literally no stopping.
I mean, with these guys too, you really never know. Which is super. That one thing that's super fun about them. I mean, for all we know, I know he is recording credits for like 3 or 4 of the songs on one of the recent records. But I mean, Ben Stiller might come and join on tour at some point. I mean, that's just a complete joke. I don't know whatever happened, but it's just who knows, you know.
I wonder what the band members' favourite Ben Stiller movies are. Like, which one for each one.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Probably Zoolander, I'd say. I reckon that's probably the go. I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I need to go watch all the Ben Stiller films that I haven't seen. Like, I haven't seen Greenberg and a couple of other ones, and I'm like, just let me get the full catalogue. Like, he's in their space, in their space. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Nice. But yeah, new music potentially in 2025. That's good to hear. That's good. That's That's back to the old days of every 2 years, something to look forward to. That's pretty cool. Wow, that's impressive. They can get that kind of turnaround on. Yeah. So I'm down for that if that's what's going to happen. If not, yeah.
I know they have a ton of material with scrap projects and stuff like that. Because I mean, I put a comment in the chat. I was like, it's been 7 years, but I'm still waiting to hear the Ballad of Kanye, and then all those ones. If you remember, there was a whiteboard picture with like a track list, and I don't think we ever got any of those songs. I could be wrong, but there was one. I don't even remember what it was called. Something baby or something like that. I don't know. There was like a list of like 8 songs, and we never got Baby Bogata or something like that. This was what it was called.
I actually don't remember.
Baby or something. I don't remember.
I don't remember this. The whiteboard. This is news to me. This has gone over. I must have missed this then. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
7 years ago.
We'll hear it all one day. Who knows? They can pull a King Gizzard on us and drop like 7 albums in a year. That'd be kind of great.
Yeah, those guys are ridiculous. They are. Their average. I'd like to know what their average is, because it's got to be every like 4 months or something. That is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, how it started and Hive is potentially getting a full release. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to mention about the more recent live show as well? You mentioned kind of what was being played in the ambience and like kind of where it was in the venue and everything. Any other like special moments you want to shout out from that one?
I don't know, the most recent one at Victory Academy was really kind of special and cute just because it was Francis's school. They had like a bunch of kids who attend there at the school, and family members too and stuff like that, kind of dancing in the front. Like it was in the gymnasium. It was like 200 or 300 people, and they were like, "Okay, everybody sat through Evil Friends. Now get up and dance, and we want the kids up front." I know, it was kind of special. It was just adorable to watch them really get into Portugal the Man's music. It was kind of funny watching like 6-year-olds dance to All Your Light. It's like, okay.
Not sure they'll be dancing to the music video though. That might creep a few of them out.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Oh my.
Oh right. No, I was going to say we're satisfied with the Victory Academy show. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. And was there anything else you wanted to mention about new music? Obviously you've heard stuff. You said 85%. I take it with a pinch of salt. At the end of the day, we never know what will happen.
Yeah.
Expect them to be on the road again soon. The band that tours a lot will be touring again. Shocking to hear that, Steve. I'll be honest. I'm not sure I'll get good odds on that one, but yeah, that's good to hear. It's good to hear that they're head down and they're ready to go. Awesome. All right, yeah.
They might even come to you in the UK and other places in Europe. So wink, wink.
Yes. Yeah, me and Daniel from who I've had on the podcast before. He'll be looking forward to that when Europe is not. Yeah, it's a bit closer for him. Yeah. That'll be cool. But that'll be cool. Be good for them to do a couple of shows. I know you mentioned recently you're thinking about relocating as well for a little bit as well. So be nice to have another. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, our economy is just about as bad as anywhere else's. So really think hard about that one. No one's playing over here as well. So really think about it. That's kind of all the major topics I had for this podcast, Steve. I just wanted to say thank you again for coming on. You've been a really good guest, insightful, providing me with a database list idea, which I'm now going to have to go do. I'm going to have to copy that from you, so thank you for that. But you're not quite out the woods yet. We've got one more topic, and you did say you were a little bit nervous about this, but the fact that you've got a database of every song might actually come in handy.
I swear, if you give me something off of like Under the Waves of the Brown Coat or Later You Vultures, I might be screwed. So
you might be screwed. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I've got here the PTM Song game, 10 questions, yes or no. It's like 20 questions, but harder. Yes or no questions. One song from their entire discography. One out of the 123. That's how many I know now. Okay, that's cool to know. It might be more later this year, so it's only getting harder as time goes on. So, yeah. So one song.
Okay.
You've got 10 yes or no questions. Do you have any initial questions about how the process goes? I'll give you a tip. A good question to ask is, have we mentioned this song today already?
Oh,
that might be a good one as well to use later on if you're like question 6. I don't really know where I'm going. Good little one I always like to give people. So I'll let you go. First question. We'll narrow it down.
Okay.
Off you go.
Let's see. First question: is the song on an album that was released after 2014?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't released after 2014. Okay. And that's after, as in like 2015, 16, 17.
That's what I meant. That's what I was considering when you said after 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's an old one. Okay. Second question. Oh boy. Let's see. I feel like I need to narrow this down even more because I think we're at still 4 or 5 albums now.
Well, you said it's on an album, so you know it's not a single, and you know kind of what era at least, so you can narrow it down.
Yeah. Did we mention the song today? There you go. I'll go with that one.
Not directly.
Not directly. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Is the song either on In the Mountain and the Cloud or Evil Friends?
It is not on either In the Mountain and the Cloud or Evil Friends albums. This song is not on those ones.
Holy moly. Okay, let's see. This is going to get really hard now.
Sure, only your fourth question, don't worry. You narrowed down quite a lot, though.
Yeah. So we've gotten rid of a lot of albums, and it's not a single, so it's either on Satanic, Churchmouth, Censored Colors.
It's not a surprise one. It's not like, it's not Heavy Games Part 1. You're not, don't worry.
Oh gosh. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 albums.
Yeah, you've got 6 and then a guess, yeah. Sorry, albums, not questions.
No, I'm looking at albums. I should have narrowed that down even more. I only really got rid of 2 albums with my first question. Oh boy. Let's see. I feel like I need to keep narrowing it down to what album it's on.
Are there other ways to narrow down a song from other types of songs, maybe?
Is it on Satanic Satanists or Censored Colors?
It is not on Satanic Satanist or Censored Colors. Apologies, everyone in the video, if it does sound a bit all over the place. I'm having some technical difficulties. I'm going to edit it out so it's flawless, though, or more or less. Apologies, though. I've just had Steve wait a whole minute to find out if it was on one of 2 albums. He must have thought I was very... must have thought I was very dim there for a moment. Anyway, sorry, Steve.
Okay.
That was your fourth question.
Okay, we're gonna go. Keep asking, kind of figure out what album it's on. Let's go. Churchmouth or American Ghetto? Is it on either one of those?
It is not on American Ghetto or Churchmouth.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask this just to make sure, but I'm pretty positive it is. Is it on Wait Are You Vultures?
Yes, it is on Wait Are You Vultures from 2006.
Wow, that's this is gonna be fun. What question was that? Number 6?
That was your 6th question. You have 3 more and then a guess.
I know you said earlier we didn't directly mention it, so it's not Guns, Guns, Guns. It's not Chicago.
I like you thinking it. You're working it out correctly. Nice.
And it's not Kill Me King. There's some good ones on there. Let's see, how many songs are on this album? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 13 songs. And then 1, 2. Is it one of the top 7 songs on the album? Top 7 tracks? In order?
In order? Yeah, it is one of the
Yeah.
first 7 songs on the album.
Okay. Let's go. I feel like I'm really narrowing this down here.
I think you're doing a good job.
Ooh, there's some good ones on the top too.
So
Mm-hmm.
you're narrowing it down from like 6 or 7. You've got 2 questions and a guess to do it. I think you could do
Here's
this.
a good one. This is a fun question because does the title of the song have an animal in it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so we're between elephants, AKM80, and then How the Leopard Got Its Spots.
You've done well. You've done well. Can you narrow down 3 in one question?
I got one question left. Okay. Sheesh.
You got 1 question, then you got to guess 1. So you got to narrow down. You got to eliminate 2 from this process.
I don't know if there's a way to like eliminate 2 songs at the same time here. I'm looking at the 3 songs. Wow, that's tough. Let's see. Man, this is tough. Because, shoot.
Tell us what you're thinking. You want to do like duration or something like that? Or?
Yeah, no. I'm trying to figure out how to. Really, there's no way to weed it down into 2. I'm gonna be a 50-50 guess at the end of the day. So my thought process is now is it's pretty much gonna tell me if the answer is one of the songs, if it is the right song. So like one of my questions could be like, does the song have a number in it? Or one of my questions can be like, does the title have more than 1 word in it? So like that would eliminate elephants. Yeah, so I think we're gonna just have to ask one of these to get it to a 50-50 shot. Does the title have a number in it?
The title does include a number in it.
Does include. Okay, so that's my final guess is AKA M80 the Wolf.
And on the buzzer, AKA M80 the Wolf from 2006 with a music video. You could have asked that normally. That's what I was hinting at. I was trying to hint at that just a little bit there. Correct. Yeah, well done, Steve. 10 questions. You got it well in there. Oh,
it's a good one.
That was good. That was good. You maybe wasted 1 question at the beginning. I thought with like the 2014. I thought, God, we could definitely do like 2011 or 2010. Like really split it down the middle. But you asked album as well, so you kind of covered both bases. But if I said no, you might have forgotten that. But no, I think you did a really good job there, actually, getting it down to an album you don't really care for. So I think you did a.
That would have. You know what would have been really funny is if like, because I didn't even think of this until now. If when I asked if it was whatever, and I said no, it's like immediately I went to Wait Are You Vultures. It could have been on Under the Waves of the Brown Coat, and I would have just been completely screwed.
That is true. But you dug in and went for Waiter. Yeah, I don't know if I've done an Under the Brown Waves with the Under the Brown Coat question on here yet. I've done 20 podcasts now, so Waiter's come up 4 times as a song quiz. So I like going back with these questions. It makes it a little harder for like the Feel It Still fans, we'll call them. You know, the newer fans. You know.
Yeah.
All right. Good job there, Steve. Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. In 10 questions, really narrowing it down.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. I'll give you an opportunity to first of all say thank you for coming on today on fairly short notice. Hope you're having a good 2025, and I'll give you an opportunity to kind of address the public, the PTM fam, the community. If you have anything to say, the floor is yours now. Anything you want to promote or anything, the floor is yours.
Keep being awesome. It's a great community, especially on Discord. Really enjoy the interactions with everybody. Keep being good people. Donate to Francis Changed My Life and any other initiatives. Keep listening to their music. Share suggestions of other bands and stuff like that. Yeah. We can do a Nardwar outro and do.
I was going to say, if there's anything, yeah, that was quite good. Anywhere else can follow you on social media. I know you're not maybe you're not the biggest person on there. 2025, I'm trying to rein it in a little bit, especially, the main social media. If there's anywhere people want to follow you.
I'm only on Discord, Reddit, and then Instagram. My handle's pretty much the same on Instagram as it is on Discord, so it's Steve the number 4 _ Vendetta. And then on Reddit, I'm Region Rat. I post all the time on there, so it's easy to find me.
What's the backstory between the Vendetta? Is there just have you got Italian heritage or?
No, I love the movie, and it's like total just anarchist.
The film V for Vendetta. Oh my goodness, I forgot about that.
It's a play on my name. Like, you can't capitalize anything when you make your usernames or whatever, but typically when I write it out, it's Steve with a capital V for Vendetta. That's kind of what I go by, but
oh, that's awesome. That's very clever. And then what was it? Legion Rat? Was it
Region Rat?
Region Rat. Alliteration.
That's so I tell people I'm from Chicago. I actually live in Northwest Indiana, right outside of Chicago, the border right there. But Lake County, Indiana is known as the region, and we all call ourselves the Region Rats, which is super funny. Chris Funk, their new management, he's actually from the region as well. And if you actually look at his PTM crew vest, his name that's sewn into his jacket is Region Rat. So John thought that I was actually him on Discord, and they were trying to figure out who it was, and the mystery was finally solved. That it's me.
That's pretty cool. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow. I don't live anywhere near where Zoe's from, unfortunately. She's from the north, no. I'm from the south, the deep south. Not that deep south. Deep. Anyway, we call it deep south, yeah. We also have a north-south divide in this country as well, as this island.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about that. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Any feedback for the new intro and outro that you should be seeing right now would be appreciated. Thank you very much. It's not copyrighted, which is nice. So hopefully I can start getting out to a few more places in the world. We'll say so. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good day and take care. Cheers, guys. Bye.